السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يعطيكم ألف عافية. معكم المهندس حاتم النجار، المدير التنفيذي وعضو مجلس إدارة الجمعية العلمية السعودية للهندسة الطبية. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. اليوم معنا ويبينار جديد بعنوان MRI in Business. السبيكر اليوم هو الأستاذ ماجد العطاس، هو Diagnostic Imaging Business Consultant. وإن شاء الله اليوم حتشوفوا الMRI في منظور مختلف تماما. طريقة اختيار الMRI، طريقة أو دور البايوميديكال انجينيرز، وحتى المعلومات اللي تهم الطبيب أو الأخصائي المختص بالأشعة في عملية اختيار الMRI. نرحب فيك مستر ماجد. وقبل ما نبدأ ونعطيك الكنترول، أنا حاب أنوه للجميع بالنسبة أي سؤال أو استفسار خلال عملية الويبينار اليوم، عندكم خانة الكويستشنز. الكويستشنز ممكن تكتبوا فيها كتابيا، you can write الكويستشنز تبعكم، وإن شاء الله نهاية الويبينار حنحولها للأستاذ ماجد وحيحاول يرد عليها بالوقت المتاح المتبقي في الويبينارز. يعطيكم ألف عافية. أستاذ ماجد سامعني؟
ايه سامعك حبيبي.
أهلا وسهلا، يعطيك ألف عافية.
تسلم
طيب
حبيبي.
أنا حدي لك الكنترول. تفضل. يس، الشاشة واضحة.
اوكي، واضحة دحين؟
يس تمام.
السلام عليكم، يعطيكم ألف عافية. Thank you for attending this webinar. إن شاء الله أتمنى أكون خفيف عليكم. أنا بحاول على قدر الإمكان to make it short as much as I can. As Engineer Hatem said, it is we'll talk about MRI in different way. MRI, it's known as the state-of-the-art technology in radiology. There is a lot of topics and can be discussed about MR, from the physics, from the technique, from the engineering, and clinical aspect as well. But today is different. Because of my previous experience from as end user, lecturer, and working in the vendors, I found this topic, it's very important, which is to talk about MRI in business perspective, to understand the MRI market, profitability, how they invest in MR, the investment, it's suitable or not. And as biomedical engineer, or who is responsible to buy MR or to receive the MR, we're going to talk about the best criteria and specification can be suitable for your institution. There is a lot of type of MRI. Now the technology is different. A lot of vendors that in the market that you have to understand exactly what we should choose. It is a long topic, but literally I tried to summarize as much as I can. And I just focused on major points that should be known. We can expand it, but not now. If you need, after I finish the presentations and there is a point you want to discuss it more, we can arrange another webinar with Engineer Hatem and Biomedical Society and RSSA. First, this is the healthcare provider. It's known, either primary hospital or imaging clinic, general hospital, around 300 beds, and there is specialized and research hospital, including university hospital. This is the healthcare provider in Saudi Arabia, mainly. Before we talk about MR and we discuss the MR, we have to understand our healthcare dynamic in Saudi Arabia. the media, economy, and education level. All of these has been changed citizen behavior and the way of thinking. That makes our demographic shift. Population's growth. The General Authority of Statistics in Saudi Arabia report that the population increase in 2016 around 16.5% compared to 2010, with average 2.5% every year. Imagine how the population is coming in 2025 or 2023 or 2030. Even the healthcare provider, they shifted to see the value of value-based of the revenue, not only the technology or the brand name. Still, we have shortage in staff. I know there is a lot of graduations in medical imaging from the technology, from the biomedical people, from the radiologists, but still it's still needed in the market. There is a lot of chronic disease, obesity, hepatitis, oncology, cardiac. This is all, it has been increased in Saudi Arabia. All of these now, we have cost pressure. It is in the government, when we release the tender, it's the cost pressure. And even in the private, it's the cost pressure. Even in the health insurance, not like before. The health insurance company not paying much like before for the healthcare provider. So that he wants to understand how to gain his profitability. There is a challenging in healthcare sector, especially in private sector. You see, everybody see in the market how we have now companies in healthcare like Al Habib, Dalla, Faqih, name it. As I understand now, I think there is 3 new hospital will be open soon. Each one around 300 beds. From this make the very competitive market in healthcare, especially in the private sector. So that they try to extend clinical capability, improve their quality. And we have Sibahi now and GCI to standardize the care. They try to increase the efficiency and attract the famous or unique clinicians to their hospital. Detroit, now they have the patient care to manage their repetitions. But still, they want to improve the profitability of their institutions and stay competitive. And they balance fixed cost versus the variable cost. Right. Now, MRI investment, it is profitability or not? If I invest in MRI with this very expensive equipment, especially in the clinic, I'm not talking with the hospital, it must be there. We have a small example in investment. Let's say we're gonna buy 1.5 Tesla, 60 centimeter. This one, it costs around 3.2 million real to 4.8 million real, with the 3 years warranty and installations. Nowadays, not like before. Of course, the prices depend on specifications. Your target to do 10 cases per day, which is suitable, above and below, but now it is, let's say, 10 cases. With the cost pressure, we'll say each procedure or each scan, it costs 800 riyals. This is the average in the market as I understand, maybe above or below. Let's calculate it. 800 multiplied by 10, they give us, you can gain 8,000 riyals per day. In 26 days, you're gonna gain 208K per month. In 12 months, you're gonna gain 2.5 million. You buy your system around 3.2, and the first year you're gonna gain 2.5. Let's say our operation cost per year with the technologists, radiologists, energy, staff, nursing, everything, it's 400K, which is less than this, I think. Still, you're gonna gain 2.1 million. If you multiply by 2 years, it will be 4.2 million. That's mean your revenue and break even, you're gonna get it less than 2 years. For MRI, it is very profitable system in the market, I think. Yes, it's expensive, but you're gonna gain your revenue, and the MR life is around 10 years, not less than this. But you have to be smart the way and how to choose your system. In intelligent market, they report that there's growth 4.6% to reach 103 million US dollar in 2025. I know now in COVID-19 there is a decline in the market, but still all the factors, it will grow again. After the economy pressure, it will be released. Because of population growth, and we have increased, as we said, in chronic disease, which we need diagnostic, early diagnostic technique to drive this growth. And for the oncology patient, if you discover it in early stage, better than discover it in later stage, the cost will be different, especially in the treatment of the patient. And we'll try to, or the healthcare to go to the less invasive diagnostic procedure, which is contributed by MRI market. But I will say, in small case, it's a profitable, and the growth or by time, still the MRI is needed in the market. This is the MRI system vendors. Everybody knows healthcare, Siemens, Philips, Canon, Hitachi, Isaotti, the Italian. And you have two new Chinese vendors, United Imaging and Usoft. There is others, Swiss companies, but this is the major known vendors in the market. Everybody hear about 1.5 Tesla, 3 Tesla, 0.5 Tesla. This is, they call it the MRI strength. Which one is good for or suitable for my institutions? Before that, let's go to the global market in MRI market share between these three. If you see the less than 1.5 Tesla, which is the open magnet, there is a decline up to 77% for many reasons. It is time consuming. There is a lot of applications. You cannot use it in open magnet. But if you have a small clinic For the orthopedic open magnet, at least 0.5 Tesla or 0.3 Tesla, it's more than enough. There is a growth in 3 Tesla, 32%. But still, the shark or the 1.5 is the backbone of 1.5 in the MRI market share. It's around 62%. But usually, 3 people who's buying 3 Tesla, usually he has 1.5 in his institutions. 3 Tesla, it's advisable for the research or a specialized hospital, and we're going to discuss more in the next slides. When you buy MRI or when you prepare your tender or specifications in MR, and you receive the offer from the vendors, this is the criteria you understand exactly. You have to look at it. Magnet and patient comfort, which is under its magnet homogeneity, helium boil off. You want to choose 60 and 70 or 70. The length of system, it's important, depend of your area. Gradient, which is, you can explain more, is the heart of MR, the performance of MR. This is very important criteria, you have to understand it. We have RF transmit or radio frequency transmit and radio frequency receiver, an application and the workflow. This is you have to need and to understand how is it, how the advance on it, how it will be suitable to my situations. Do I need this advanced application or do not? They have artificial intelligence or not? You have to, we can explain more on this. Magnet and patient comfort. Where I said magnet, I'm not saying about the design. How is the design? I'm talking about the homogeneity. Magnet homogeneity, it is important for the image quality. It is important to scan large field of view with less distortions. If you see in the right side in the graph, we have 3 systems: the yellow, black, and blue. Above, this is the field of view, 35 centimeter or 40 or 45 or 50. In the market now, we have 50 by 50 by 50 or 50 by 50 by 45 in XYZ. Here, if you see the distortion, in the 45 centimeter, the blue system is less distortion compared with the others. If you see, even in more than in about 45, let's say 48 centimeter field of view, still the distortions of the magnetic field is 2 parts per million. Here is 3, and here is 3.6. So you have to understand this and to study the homogeneity of the magnet. This is our patient. We have the oldest, elderly, the pediatric, skinny, and obese. In Saudi Arabia, I don't think so we're gonna gain these people, and you're gonna gain, I think, less than 5%. We have obesity, but the huge people we don't have. But you have to understand your patient, your environment, who we're gonna come to you to choose which magnet is suitable for you. For patient comfortable, it's very important to make patient come to you again and increase your repetition, especially in the private sector. Pore size, the pore size in the market, 60 or 70. Which one is which? Everybody said 70 centimeters is the best MRI and the latest technology. or the 60 centimeter do I need? You have to think. If you go for the research and you go for more than, you're gonna find the research centers, they're gonna buy 60 centimeter. But if you go for the obese people and the general hospital, you go to 70 centimeter. We're gonna say for the claustrophobic patient, this is kind of, you have to think about, because all the patients, even if you put him in the 60 or 70 or 75 or 80, still in the head or in the brain, he's gonna be in the coil. A claustrophobic patient, it will be claustrophobic. Doesn't matter which system you choose. And even if you see the standard of 60 and 70, only the increment less than 10%. If I think about, do I go for the wide bore and pay additional cost for the clinic or the primary hospital, or I go for the 60 with the good homogeneity and applications? If I think about it, which one is which? About this is the latest technology or the lowest technology? And as a physics, 60 centimeter homogeneity is better than 70. No need in 60 centimeter additional technology to adjust the homogeneity. In 70, there is additional technology to adjust the homogeneity and image quality in the system. Gradient, this is very important. This is what you are looking for, and you have to be careful about. Which one? This is the engine of MRI. You find something they call it gradient strength and slow rate. And you're gonna find, if you go to the internet to check any MRI, you're gonna get 30 as a gradient strength, or 33 or 36 up to 80. And the slow rate 100 up to 200. What's meaning of this? The gradient strength, it is the maximum peak gradient can be reached. And the slow rate, how fast to reach, or the speed to reach this peak. Yes, it is very important, but still depend on your clinical needs. Do I'm going for the cardiac? Do I'm going for the functional MR? Or I will do the routine cases, which is brain, spine, and head, all of these. This is the advantage if you go for the fast gradient, a slow rate gives. طبعا access to the fast imaging, reduce the artifact, especially the blood flow artifacts, and increase the signal to noise ratio, which is increase the image quality. Also, you can go thin slice. If you're looking for the thin slice, for sure you're gonna go high strength. This is my advice. It's just only my opinion. It's nothing written, and it's not must to be right. As my opinion, as experience. For the routine applications, and for routine, you're gonna buy MRI just only for the routine, nothing specialized. Any gradients, it's more than enough. More than enough for the brain, spine, whatever. It's more than enough. You will not need to go more and high strength and high gradient and high slow rate. But if you are looking for the cardiac MR, the advisable one, minimum 44 gradient strength and 200 slow rate. This one to reduce, as we said, the blood flow artifacts, which you need it. But for functional MR, yes, you can do the functional MR in 1.5 Tesla, but you can get more signal and more diagnosis. You have to use 3 Tesla, gradient strength 44 or 60 by 200 or more. if you go for the research and functional MR, real functional MR without any distortions. For advanced research, as we said, 60 by 200 slow rate up to 80, which is in the market now. There's the 7 Tesla. Even if you go to the 7 Tesla, you have to see the gradient strength. You're going to find it either 60 by 200 or 80 by 200, because this one, they cannot go more than this for patient care. And this will affect patients. You can increase the heat if you increase the slow rate and the gradient strength. Okay, radio frequency pulse. This is and if you work in MRI or you read, you're gonna hear about the radio frequency. The radio frequency, it should be through the transmit from the magnet to the patient, or receive it from the patient to the magnet. It is the energy from the magnet to the patient, it's radio frequency, and then the same thing, the energy, you're going to receive it for our frequency, you're going to receive it from the patient to the magnet to get your image. Everybody knows our radio frequency is analog. And how it will be analog to convert it to image? It should be converted first to the digital. But this is the only, just an introduction about analog to digital. It is the information collected from the acquisition in analog form and needed to be converted to the digital. Then we converted the computer process, the CPU, to get you the image quality. This is how it's worked. But in traditional MR analog, they call it analog MR. You're going to receive the signal and go, this is the old one, and go through the copper to the computer room and convert it to digital to gain, then to process to get the images. But during this traveling, it is analog and it is radio frequency, you start to lose energy and signals. To maintain this, you have to increase the average of NICs. You have to adjust the parameters to maintain the image quality. This one increase your scan time. This is the analog to digital. We have a new technology now. In the most of the vendors, they have the same technology with a different way. First one, as we said, RF coil receive the signal to go until the computer room, convert it to the digital, and receive the signal. The other technique, to receive the signal and convert it in the magnet. Okay, the amplifier and convert it in the magnet. And then to go to the fiber optic to the computer room to get the image. This one, to maintain your signal to noise. And because of this, the scan time, it has been reduced. There's other technology, the converted, it will be in the coil itself. They convert the signal in the coil to digital, then to the fiber optic to the computer room, and they get the image. But this is the 3 type what we have nowadays, so that we call it digitalization MR, which is converted in the magnet, or converted in the magnet, or converted in the coil, and go to the fiber optic. We will not lose a lot of signals, and then gonna get the image. This one increase signal to noise, improve the image quality, and short scan time. But nowadays, as we said, it is most of the system is digitalized. RF channel definition and specifications, radio frequency definitions. It's one of the critical, and there is no baseline definitions you're gonna gain in the market. But you have to understand these two things: number of channels or number of independent receiver channels. What's meaning number of channels? If we say or read number, I have number of channels 250, whatever number of channels. What is it? The definition is number of coils can be connected simultaneously in the same time, like this. But that's mean you have high number of coils. All the coils can be connected, even with high number of channels in the coil. This is the called number of channels. In the market, you have 8 channels, 16, up to nowadays 204 channels in the market. You can choose whatever you want to choose from it. But you have to understand again what you are need, not what I want to buy. This one too large, they give you large coverage, especially with whole body scan. Number of independent receiver channels. This is to control the image quality. What does it mean? It is number of channels in one coil can be activated in one single scan, in one single field of view, to generate independent partial image, like this one. This one, if you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, about 16 channels. For this coil, that means it is 16 channels of the head coil. It's work in the one field of view with the 16 channels and the magnet. It will be received. This is in the market. Let's see the difference. We have number of channels and we have independent receiver channels. In the market, we have 8, 16, up to 228 nowadays. But you have to, if you buy 128 and channels, independent receiver channels, and your coil it is 32, and you're gonna waste your money for nothing. What's the advantage of this? As we go, improve image quality and high speed. The standard scan, my advice, if you go for the small clinic, yeah, maximum 24 is more than enough. 16, it's fine. 8, it is to give you your work. And with all image quality and nothing happen. Even the scan time, it will be different only around 2%, the average, and the scan time between the speed between the high signal, high number of channels or low. And if you go to the advanced scan again, you have to go 32 or 48 channels. And advanced research up to 64 channels. This is needed if you go for the research, because you need more signal, you need more images, because you want to go for special technique and special applications, which you need small and thin slice thickness. Coil. Everybody knows about the coils. We have knee coil, we have shoulder coil, head coil, abdomen and spine coil. For every you see in the market different number of channels. There is no definitely defined differently among the vendor. It's not fair to make comparison between the vendors. And some vendors, they buy it from the third part. Some vendors, they make their own coils. But they have different definitions. Like it is number of channels of the coil alone, like hardware intel, like box, like a knee coil or shoulder coil or rest coil or flex coil. or number of channels of coil combination with others. Sometimes you have 16 channels abdomen coil. When you combined with the spine coil, it will be around 40, 48, something like that. If you go again, the other one, number of channels of the coil combination with the other coil, adding multi-stations. As we see, I will show you some example after this slides. By definition of coil density, it is the number of independent channels of coils or combination that can be used simultaneously in one single scan. In one single scan, not multiplexes, for anatomy of interest. This is one example. If you see here, it's multiple coils have been connected because we are looking to scan 48 centimeters. We're going to use 20 channels head coil. This is 18 channels. Just we need only plus 60, it will be 6 coil to be activated. And the spine, it will be activate 4 channels in 32 spine coil. In the 32 channel, we just only activate 4 channels. The maximum or the total channels are going to be used 30 channels. This is what you are looking for. At the maximum coil, you can scan it in one field of view. I bought these coils, MRI coils. It's the basic one, which I advised as my experience. طبعا head coil, spine coil, abdomen coil, it's coming with the system, and knee coil, shoulder coil. My advice to be in during your tender specification or MRI to buy, for many reasons. For the workflow, you don't have a lot of expert technologists for scanning, to position patient by flex coil. Even you don't have the time to positioning flex coil, it takes time. Use these coils. It should be make it standard in the MRI tender. The others, if you need it, yes. How many patients do you have, especially in private? Think about it. Do you have breast cases? How many patients do you think? Do you have a lot of referral? The runoff. You have vascular cases, cardiovascular cases. You buy it. This is all the coil. It's very expensive, so that you have to make sure what coil you're going to be chosen. 3 Tesla, and I'm saying 3 Tesla. 3 Tesla, there is an issue in 3 Tesla. Now, in all days, not now in nowadays. In all days, always, if everybody have experience in 3 Tesla, here we're gonna get dielectric artifact, which you see it here. Sometimes we start to missing even the patient motions. If the patient obese, patient coming with fluid in his abdomen, because the RF transmit RF, they will not penetrate or send enough energy to the patient body that will make variation in the flip angle, and you make you this dielectric artifact. But make sure when you buy 3 Tesla, you have multi-phase transmissions. All the companies, they have it, but make sure it will be in the specifications. This one will give you homogeneous images, no dielectric artifacts. MRI application. Before, let's go back to the statistic of the cases we are see it in the report. 32% or more. It's a brain case.
Majid, sorry to interrupt. It's look like you have some problem in your mic or السلك اللي شابك فيه الهيدسет. فبس لو تزبط
دحين
انه في تشويش شويه.
دحين كويس؟
لا ستيل موجود.
غريبة. خليني أطفيه وأشغله.
اوكي، او بس يعني افصلوا وتشبكوا مره ثانيه ممكن يزبط، يكون ما هو مشبك كويس، لانه في بدايه الويبنار كان كويس بعدين.
ألو؟
ايوه معك.
خلاص أكمل؟
اي تفضل، صوت كويس.
ف خلاص احنا على وشك نخلص، باقي لنا أقل من
اوكي
3 slides.
اوكي.
عندنا الآن as we said MRI exam, it's more the MRI exam, it's brain at around 32%, spine and knees and shoulder. This is the mainly MRI cases you're gonna find it. But if you buy for the clinic or the primary hospital, this is your patient to be referred, and especially in the private hospital. But if you go back, the abdomen pelvis echo, there is increasement around still 7%, because we have the CT scan and we have the ultrasound. But it is short time and very fast compared with the MR. But this is your cases you will be looking for your investment. When you buy the MR, they're going to give you, it will come with this applications. You're going to find neuro package, spine package, standard MRA, the angio, it should be there. The orthopedic, which I'm calling the shoulder and the knees and extremities. Abdomen pelvis package should be there, just only at least for the screening for the small clinic. Breast package, it's optional. If you have a cases, do you think you have a cases, you're gonna buy it with the coil. If not, no need to buy to pay the cost of the breast package, and also the cardiac package. But make sure all the standard application in your clinical application and in your tender, also in the offer we can receive from the vendors. There is a lot of new technology now. Most of the technology now, they are talking about the short scan time. They make it very short with multi-phases, compensations. Also, you have cardiac, what they call it, breath hold, non-breath hold, abdomen cases, fingerprint, all of these. As a clinic or private, you don't need this. If you go for the research and you have a lot of cases, you make sure about it, yes, you're gonna buy some of it. All these advanced applications and the target of advanced application, it will increase the accuracy of the clinically, and productivity will be increased, even the patient comfortable. It will be, the scan time, it will be short, but still, how many percent shorter than the normal scan? Also, if you go for the research, for sure, you need very advanced applications. Workflow, this is important, the workflow. When you calculate the scan time, don't calculate scan time only. It should be calculated from the receiving patient, positioning, patient in, scanning, patient out, and the post-processing. This is the time you have to think about it. But it's a challenging. Still, we don't have experts in MR and in MRI operator, and the radiologists in MR. Yeah, there is increasement, alhamdulillah, in Saudi Arabia, but still you have shortage. Your goal for productivity to get your profitability. Now the solutions, you're gonna find it in the most of the vendors, the artificial intelligence, which is reduced your scan time. It is one of the very important things now. You have to make sure your system, they have artificial intelligence. It's going to support you in this scan workflow, even in the image acquisition. It can be, they can do the post-processing, or auto post-processing. No need to do it and takes time as an MRI operator to stay and do the post-processing, even for the radiologist, and to go to the workstation and do the post-processing. This is time for him. And the follow-up planning, they can make it the same scan for the oncology and data storage. This is nowadays in artificial. It's power of the guidance. Some vendor, they have a tablet. You can go to the radiologist and he can choose which protocol he wants and just only send it to the scan. It will be scanned directly. Even when you choose when the patient put the patient in the scan, you can choose which protocol and which area, and you need to do the center point. Nowadays we have from vendor, from the company to company, they have different technology. They can do most of routine scan automatically. Even when the patient has changed his positions, still you're gonna get ideal scan localizations and examinations. And even in the post-processing, there is something they call it interpretations, which is reporting. Yes, most of the companies now, or most of the a lot of IT companies, a lot of vendors, they are doing research and interpretations, especially with the basic pathology in the brain. It will come in the future. They will replace the radiologist, which is my opinion. I don't think so. The accuracy for the basic pathology like stroke or whatever, I think it will be more, as I read in some research, but it will come. This is part of the artificial intelligence. It will come and you'll see it in the future, soon future. Installation requirement. Don't worry about it much, because when you buy from any company, they're gonna, one of them, they have specialized to show you exactly the requirement. But in your idea, when you think to choose the area and to put the MRI, you have to make sure it's away from the car parking or road. You have to be away from a lot of metals. This is what affects your image, affect the image quality, and even affect your system for the future. There's something they call vibration exam. You have to ask the vendor to do the vibration exam, especially for the area you are looking for. The minimum, it should be 2.7 meter to the roof. If you see here the RF cage, the green one, still there is magnetic outside of the room, but still, with the RF shield, it's compressed and you will not find a lot of distortion. You have to make sure about the quench pipe. It should be short, not long. Even the chiller, it should be short, not long, and not be far away from the system. This what cause you a lot of trouble, especially in the summer. It should be far away, and we will go through the pipes to the system. Make sure it should be close as much as you can from the magnet area. Everybody knows about the SAFE of MRI. We have the 4 zones, Sibahi, or even if you get the license for your center, it should have the 4 zone. This is one example of the department. You have zone 1, which is, as I said, general public, which is this one. We have zone 2, which is the receptionist. Zone 3 was the screen MRI patient and personal, who's the scanning. And zone 4 was inside the magnet. But you have to make sure the patient, when we be in, it should be screened before to be in the magnet. should be screened in zone 3 and screened before go to zone 4. Last things, it is MRI compatible accessories. I bought just you need a standard one, what you need it. There is a lot of accessories. You need a wheelchair, stretcher, MRI compatible, distinguisher, a monitor, especially for the sedation patient, and metal detectors. There is a lot of time with metal detector, and you must have the injector. But if your clinic only orthopedic clinic or neuro, no need for to pay more than 100K for the injector. But if you have, no, I will do all the cases, yes, it must be you have it. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for this. I hope and I give you as much as I can with the informations.
يعطيك العافية. Thank you very much, Mr. Majid. I already passed you many questions. You can find it in the questions tab you have.
Does the course 6070 has a direct proportional with the exam bit size? The difference in the bit size, you mean that's stable? Yes, there is. In 70 it will be wider than the 60, but how much? 5 centimeters or less? And is there any sterilization process for the coils? Yes, this is there is no process. The MRI technology should be sterilized from patient to patient. There is no cover. You're going to use it. Is there any MRI system with the built RF and built? Yes, it's built in. No need. It is built in ADC map, ADC converter.
لو ممكن بس مستر ماجد تقرأ السؤال كامل لأن السؤال ما هو واضح للحضور.
Sorry. Yeah. Is there any MRI system with the built RF and built ADC converter? Yes, it is built in. The RF it should be built in, and even the ADC converted it's a built in. I just explain it to in the system in the presentation. Can you give us example of MRI use an advanced research specialty? Advanced research specialty, the 3 Tesla system. In the 3 Tesla, there is a lot of specialty you can use, which is you can use it for the neuro mainly in 3 Tesla, for the research which advised. In abdomen, sorry, in 3 Tesla you can use for the neuro and MSK. In abdomen, it will be challenging for you. 1.5 Tesla for the research is better. This is the answer of the questions. The other questions, what is the major factor that causes the distortion and signal artifacts? There is a lot of factors. Even the patient, when you be in, they make distortions in the image quality, distortion in the magnetic field, any metals, distortions, anything in the room, you're going to get a little bit distortions. Therefore, the engineering, when you come for the maintenance, he has to adjust the MRI homogeneity from time to time. Possible to make imaging faster like CT? Depend of what you are looking for. Nowadays, you can go for the knee, sagittal coronal around 5 sequence or 5 acquisition, less than 10 minutes. If you go for the abdomen, still a CT scan is faster. What's the material of RF shielding? Well, this is very engineering and thing. I cannot answer these questions.
I can help you in this, Majid. Usually the RF shield, they use a copper, نحاس.
Copper, yes, but there is a material, there's foam in between, and there is different material. Yeah, there is a foam in between. But my advice to you, in RF shield, you have to ask the vendor the thickness of the RF shell. This is number one. And they have to put foam between the wall and RF shell. This one, it will reduce the noise it will come from the system. This one you have to make sure about it. Are MRI compatible defibrillations advisable to use when the patient gets arrested during the MR? As my experience, no, I don't advise, and there is, I don't think so until, as far as I know, there is no compatible defibrillators until now.
Yeah, me too. I just wondering, Majid.
No,
I didn't see in my life any defib compatible with MRI to be used inside the MRI room. Usually they keep the cart outside of the MRI suite.
Exactly.
So if there is any case, they shut down the MRI and get the patient and do the emergency. Okay, the code blow or whatever.
What type of sterilization is required to restrain and fight cross-infection control? It's normal sterilizations, and with alcohol, and you clean it, and that's it. I don't think there is something special. Even with the COVID-19, it should be clean it with alcohol and wash it with what they call it, blanket, and stay for around 6 to 7 hours. Then you can use the system. And this is tell you about, especially with the quality control and the infectious report, they're gonna give you the answers of this. The weight of the table is important. We have a different, you're right. It's a different. There is in the market now 120 kg up to 200 kg. Again, 120, it's more than enough, or 150, but depend on how many cases. But you can go work around. If you have 120, you can make the table top in the top and put the patient. This one, it will not affect much. Yes, exactly. What here? In cervical spine exam, you cannot minimize the necks in the gradient sequence. So instead of 2, why? This is application questions. You're right, I cannot go for the 1 because the flow void artifacts, there's pulsation artifacts in the image, and you cannot go for 1. You have to be 2 or use application they call propeller or grab or different applications to reduce the motion artifacts. Do we have any center in Saudi Arabia that has an MRI dedicated for the planning radiotherapy? What are the recommendations for the MRI device used for radiotherapy planning purpose? There is one in KFSH. They have one for radiation therapy, the only one. The difference in the radiation therapy planning, only additional accessories and special applications. That's it. You can use any MRI, you can convert it to radiation therapy. But you have make sure it will be 70 centimeter because for the accessory for the abdomen or the table accessories. 8 channel, 16, 32, 100. Which one? 8 channels, 16 channels, 32 channels, 64 channels, 120. Which one is the most effective for perfect MR? Wallahi, if you have coils, 128 coils, 128 with the system, 128, for sure, this is the best one. I understood the things can cause distortion of the image. However, is there any distortion that MRI waves and frequency could cause vice versa of the surrounding environment? Can you elaborate on this question, please, Latifa? Lutfallah. Table can be lateral imaging. Yes, but you have to use different technique with the coils. Where do you put those coils? this is I think all the questions.
تمام. يعطيك العافية. الحقيقة في أسئلة كثير لكن الوقت عشان نلتزم فيه we have a specific time. So I would like to conclude. Thank you very much Mr. ماجد. نشكرك أستاذ ماجد على المحاضرة هذه حقت اليوم. كان منظور مختلف تماما عن المنظور الهندسي البحت أو المنظور الطبيعي اللي يشوفوه البايوميديكال انجينيرز. فممتاز جدا ان نشوفه من ناحيه ثانيه ايش اهميه الام ار اي من النواحي الاخرى، من ضمنها الناحيه في البزنس كيسز، اختيار الجهاز، انواع الام ار ايز اللي موجوده. فيعطيك الف عافيه الحقيقه. انا احب كمان اني انوه انه المحاضره هذه طبعا مسجله، هذا سؤال كثير مكرر، مسجله، والتسجيل عاده يطرح خلال 24 ساعه في قناه اليوتيوب اللي امامكم هنا SSSBE Society. بتكون موجوده هي والمحاضرات السابقه بالكامل بتكون موجوده. بالنسبه عاده برضه سؤال متكرر اللي هو الشهادات، واحب اني اركز عليه شويه. الشهادات عاده تطرح في حسابكم في موقع الجمعيه خلال 24 ساعه من انتهاء المحاضره. لازم يكون في عملت تسجيل او ريجستريشن بطريقتين، بتو ستيبس. الستيب الاولى انك تسجل في موقع الجمعيه وتسوي اضافه او انضمام جوين للايفنت اللي انت مسجل فيها. الستيب الثاني انك تسجل في اللينك تبع الجو تو ويبينار عشان تحضر زي اليوم معنا في الويبينار وتكتمل الحضور حقك up to 8%، اكثر من 80% تستحق الشهاده. فهذا دائما سؤال متكرر، انا حبيت انه انوه فيه قبل ما نختم اليوم. نشكرك مره ثانيه استاذ ماجد، وان شاء الله يكون لنا لقاءات اخرى، ونشكرك على مبادرتك معنا في الجمعيه لإلقاء المحاضره هذه.
يعطيك العافيه. شكرا اخوي. يعطيك العافيه.
الله يعطيك الف عافيه. شكرا لكم جميعا. شكرا للحضور الكرام. يعطيكم الف عافيه. ننهي اللقاء اليوم.